So he found this massive gold treasure, and then, wow. This story, oh man. Gold, mass amounts. 1912, referring to the title of the old Grimes property on Pine Street, Nevada City. United States Senate Chamber. Every month, there was $100,000 to $110,000 deposit put in their bank. This was a great unit. This is definitely a Millionaire's storage unit. They were gold miners. They were mining tycoons, it looks like. They owned a business, family heritage. They were in the Revolutionary War, captains, mayors, governments, Congress, Department of Treasury. They were all over the map, this family was, from start to finish. That, to me, that is a storage unit story. You guys remember Harold from some of my videos? A lot of you guys like him, some of you don't. Harold, you get a lot of people, they don't like you. Want to hear something funny? Want to hear something funny? You remember the video where you were, where we took a photo of your trunk and everything? You were here last time before you took the silver, because we're going to discuss the silver. Somebody said, I wouldn't let that guy around anything. All he wants to do is get money in his hands and go get a glass pipe.
A glass pipe?
Yeah, they think you're on crack.
They think you're smoking crack.
They think you're smoking crack.
Crack?
Yeah.
I am. I do like it.
There's a few people that love you.
I know, there's a couple.
But you're very misunderstood, just like me. I think that's why we get along, because we're both misunderstood.
Hi to the people that love me. And
now, more importantly, let's discuss this. Let's discuss this. Harold actually got me a buyer for my silver. He found me a very fair market value at high scrap.
Thank you for that. I do appreciate it.
I'd never trust Harold with that silver in China. Actually, there's not a thing I'd trust him with. Looks like he hits the glass pipe as soon as the money. What is this from this person here?
Yeah.
Is that a person?
That's you.
God. Hi. Oh, she's laughing.
That's not her. That's just it's probably a guy. So carrying on with this business. Yes, sadly, right now, silver went back up. But when I first got it, it went down like $2. It was high because of some stock market deals going on and everything. And boom, it went down. I got 90% scrap value for it. I kept one piece. You can see it on my eBay. I'll show you a little picture here. It is a very expensive bull, sterling silver. It's the only one that had much more value than the rest. A lot of the things were monograms, said people's initials. When it comes to silver, you don't want to have, initials on it because it brings the value down. Some people say I could have got more if I pieced it out, but I took $10,000 in my pocket right away. The unit itself, both of them cost me, what was it for? Let me think. I was $4,600 in plus help. It was almost $5,000 for the 2 units. But here's the thing. I took a lot of it out to Alameda Flea Market. You can see a video of it. I showed videos of all this. There's a whole playlist, 33, the Sterling Silver Jackpot. We did about $5,000 at the flea market total. We did $5,000. We got even with just the smalls and the little stuff, broke even. The silver was pure profit at that point, at $10,000. And then we have all these treasures right here still. This right here is one of the neat items that I got out of the unit, a very expensive mirror. See, I'm gonna go walk you through some of the more expensive things because I liquidated all the smalls, but you can still be seen. Harold had let me know that this is a federal convex mirror, and each one of these knobs here represents the original 13 colonies. And these mirrors top out at like $1,200 on eBay, as little as $200, depending on their years and quality and stuff. But this piece here, to me, is at least $500. We have this guitar here, which if you look, it says Sigma, but if you look deeper, it's an off-brand of Martin and Company, and it's worth a couple $100. It's a 12-string, nothing major, but when the grand scheme of items, $300, $200 is a good value. I have not sold this one yet. But if you look right here, this baby, which we determine is late 1800s, it's got a considerable amount of damage, like a lot. Probably cost a couple thousand, $1,000 to $3,000 to fix. Late 80s, you can see the markings everywhere. You see, it's in great shape everywhere. Oh, okay, I'm using the word great. It's not in great shape. It is in, usable shape. Guess what I sold it for, Harold? Because I need to ship it out.
You shipped it?
No, I sold it. $1,250. I ended up getting $1,250 from that $1,500 offer because I turned down their $1,500 and it lost value after they did more research. That's why sometimes your first offer is your best offer.
No, sometimes always.
But nonetheless, $1,250 for a broken guitar, like you said, you would have sold it for. You would have sold. You'd be like, hey, here you go, give me $10.
Oh, Oh, it's got a hole in. We'd have
Yep.
made fun of it first.
But it's going to go to Japan. This gentleman said he's going to spend $3,000 to fix it. He told me, ship it there. Here's the money for it. I always give positive feedback, and its condition will be fine. That's a wrap. $12.50 going out Monday morning. As well, while Harold was here doing his shopping with me last time and going over some of the stuff, we found this poster. And upon research right away, we noticed that it was online for $17,800. I'm going to show you a little picture right here or something. It's from 1866. Now, I have this piece up for $9,999. Somebody told me to, I wonder if all this writing was originally wrote in here. Because if you look, it has people like John Hancock and all sorts of different signatures on it. But I think those are printed in there. Because it is a print.
Did you do this?
But it's got all sorts of wonderful things that happened in the beginning of our country. The 13 colonies. It kind of tells history. Brings in the rest of the states here. It's pretty nice. Like I said, this is on my eBay right now for $10,000. And the one that I seen online is for $17,800. What do you guys think I'll eventually get for this piece? And now, this is probably the single best items I found, minus the silver, which was a good sale.
Is this how it was packaged?
This is how I found it in the plastic or metal box or whatever it was in.
Right, but they were in these glass sheets.
Yeah.
Sandwiched between the glass like that.
And you gotta be careful because they move around. This
Who
piece
is
here.
John Waite Esquire?
Let's discuss this right now. Can you turn it more to me?
Right?
Yeah, so we can see. Yeah, this John Waite Esquire Mayor. Now, in 1777, turn over. This is Nicholas Cook. He is the governor of Rhode Island. Oh, no, governor of... Yeah, it was Rhode Island, right? Yeah, Rhode Island. And at the time, Rhode Island had not signed the Declaration of Independence. Was in our country. It was a Revolutionary War going on. They didn't sign for a couple years later. So theoretically, they weren't in the USA yet. This is Nicholas Cook, the governor of Rhode Island, signature right here. And he's pronouncing this man, John Waite, who was a captain in the Revolutionary War, as the mayor of the Providence of Regiment.
Amazing.
This piece, I think, is worth $5 to $6 grand easily.
It might. I went recently to the Huntington.
I have this up for $28,000 on my eBay. These pieces here I haven't listed yet. I believe this one is 1806, right? Yeah. Leghorn, August. Matthew Waite is this one person's relative, I believe.
Maybe son. When's the date? 1806. Could be son.
Well, this is all family documents.
Years later. This is. I mean.
And if you turn this one over, flip it over to the other side.
1777 to here. This is the son.
Flip it over.
This is the son, maybe.
No, stop. Flip it over. Because somewhere on here, I think is something to do with this. Whatever this sheet is that's recorded has something to do with that, or possibly the person is somewhere in here.
I love all of this.
Then we'll look at this one. What year is this? This is 1735. See that? 1735. William Hall Afsisant. There's just so many different names everywhere.
But this, who was this guy? What was he saying here? North Kings. These are as old as America itself. To the people who...
Look at all the different names on there. Benjamin Waite. This is family heritage. Look at all these names right here. I don't know anything about them. There's like a half dozen of them. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Nope. Okay, there's a couple of them there, though.
Oh, actually.
This one is 1735. That's finally we found something older than you.
This is... I mean...
It's crazy, huh?
Well, you got to get somebody that reads and understands documents.
Cursive?
To do so. No, yeah, they got to read.
That looks like
All right, have we looked at this one here yet?
We love all of these.
Let me discuss what I know about this one. I have not really broken this all down, but this guy here, Nathan Pierce.
Yes.
Nathan Pierce, he was a captain also in the Revolutionary War. So that's the second member of the Revolutionary War that I do know of. He actually, I believe, died.
You've got to
I'm pretty sure that this one,
we've got
Nathan
to make
Pierce.
note of every name that's here, signed personally, and then you've got
This
to
person.
research the history.
I told you, this
where
person
they
right
lie
here.
in the
I've had several
Nathan
subscribers have helped me out, and they have told me that Nathan Pierce is a captain in the Revolutionary War, much like John Waite was. But this one is 1735, correct? No, this is the
1726.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is the oldest thing I've ever found in the entire history of buying storage units. Nothing I've ever found dates back 300 years. 300 years old this piece of paper is, Harold. Nuts, huh? Let's say Henry Northington Jr.
Where?
Right there.
Yeah, probably.
Henry North Jr. or whatever of North Kings. And the county of, and the state, and the providence in which.
What
Ooh.
is this telling him to do?
Ooh, what's this? Stop. By the peace of your king over Great Britain. You see that?
Yeah,
Do you see that?
George Theodore. Where are you reading?
Of the good. Right here,
Of
finish the
His
sentence.
Majesty. By the grace of you.
Who? We're going to find because this could be the king right here. The signature.
George.
Reign George there, something by the grace of king over Great Britain, and then there's a signature. Ooh. The constitution of this, of this obligation is such and so it says that it was
This is
King.
a letter.
Yeah, it was
Scroll it
King
up,
George
sealed with
the
wax.
second in 1734, but I don't see his autograph. Oh, there's it. Maybe that's one.
Looks like it.
That doesn't look like a George.
Looks like a George to me.
No, but yeah, but is it George Thomas right there? Look.
Right. There's a lot of George.
No, I don't know.
Look.
Because look, that in the reference of George Anthony. Okay, now I'm just trying to think here because I'm trying. If usually if the king would sign it, right? If you put something on there or somebody under him would sign it. I know it's talking about the king.
Look. What's this say? The London? Is that London?
The word.
What is that second word?
The word of.
That looks
12
like
months.
home 12 months. Between 8th and 9th line in the constitutional past Washington in the Huntington. They're priceless. Literally priceless. You know what I'm saying?
But this is before Washington and Lincoln, sir. This
no,
is
Lincoln. Well, Lincoln, Washington is this period.
Washington was the president in like 1776, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is
The first
1726.
president was
He might not
Washington.
even been born yet.
This is the first. This was but this is leading up
Yeah.
to the revolution. So what does this say about it? Something about it. It's definitely about the Constitution. They're building up. I mean, it's long before this is very. I mean, God. There are people that can read this.
You can't read it?
Can you?
Yeah.
No. Can you read this cursive like this, Olivia? You need to. Is this one open?
Yeah, please don't put it back down.
open.
Really,
Let's
really.
see.
They belong in like plastic sleeves and all sort of stuff, and I'm scared to take them out of there. You
What
see that in the
about-
light? Look, pull up to the light. Hold the paper up to the light.
Look at that thing. Look at that. 1790 before the revolution and goes on through and after it.
Yeah,
Very
you remember you said these
interesting.
people are probably a prominent family. 1877 was the year after. But see this one right here? It says Washington, November 8th. That one trips me out, right? And then look at this signature. John Waite and somebody else. Same person who would become a mayor. And then it has this
So that's
Alicia.
which is the oldest? That's the oldest.
Look at this. It says like Alicia R. Gunworth or Barronworth.
This is
This one here,
maybe they form a pattern if you read them in order. Maybe it's
the Providence Plantations,
when was that?
South Kingston.
The date of this 1735.
This is 1793. We're delving into the family history a little bit and just things that they did as a business. What they did was they owned an alcohol or a winemaking company, right? Look at it. Federal Alcohol Administration. Ooh, maybe they were like, what did you call those back in the day when you smuggle booze? They had a name for them.
What, during the Prohibition?
Yeah.
Bootleggers?
Bootleggers. Maybe they were bootleggers.
Maybe not. Maybe they own this winery right here.
Okay.
Maybe they own
Then
this
it'd be,
winery
what
right
sounds
here.
better though to
But
title?
look, but this is 1936.
What sounds better? Bought bootleggers unit or bought winemakers unit?
Bootleggers unit, but the thing is, in 1936, you're dead right. That is prohibition.
But see, it doesn't matter because they're disapproved. Okay. It was disapproval. They still applied.
They applied for this label to be approved in 1936, and they did not like their label. These are numerous other label applications. This is just a very fun piece of documentation. For somebody that's into alcohol or wine, this would be such a pleasure to have and put in boxes into frames and have hanging on the winery wall or something. These are applications for wine in 1930, almost 100 years ago, man. It's brilliant.
Alcohol distribution.
Where would you ever see even the labels, let alone labels that were rejected?
We have tons of labels.
But rejected labels.
Yeah.
These have never been, these are brilliant.
This was the one thing Harold caught his eye on last time. I'm still kind of tripping on it. But we have not been able to find out who August Ertz is. He's a famous artist.
I'm telling you, with a name like that. Hey, you said bank
Because he did this right here, this really nice looking piece here at 1886. Yeah, the ones that show $100,000 deposits every month. I want to show the world the millionaire status they had. And this beauty right here.
Did they have an airplane?
Miss Jessie Shaw, I am all this, a count by birth, a scholar by inclination, a captain of the German army by rule, and an artist by destiny. This guy sounds so tight. 1886, July 4th.
See, prior to the First World War. We're talking Kaiser and so forth.
What is
You
this?
can find that guy.
Print.
Linda Higby, 1973.
See all the more wine labels here?
Yes, important.
The Kiss thing went with a different unit. All these wine labels were part of it. They must have used them for...
What have you been doing since I was here last? Because last time I was here, this was,
I had to consolidate a table or two. This is a pretty tight piece of paper. It basically says what? That they're in the Freemasons?
Yeah, I think so.
1950, Berkeley. That's a neat little piece of paper, though. Supreme Council, 33rd degree, Southern Jurisdiction of the United States of Charlton, State of South Carolina. They wrote checks back then.
155.
For Albert F. Hoffman. Is he famous? What's the other side say? Oh, they even made it like a check.
Well, it all started somewhere, my friend. Bed, what is this? Okay.
This is weird, too. At the regular meeting, I'm in the section list. The resolution was adopted in the regular meeting. Grandmaster, worship master. What is all this stuff, Harold, a worship master? What kind of gang they running?
It's a lodge.
Wow, this is awesome. Power of attorney, the Citizens Assurance Company of yada, 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 and so forth and so on. In 1912, we, the principal stockholders of the Kuyo Kuik MG&D Company, authorized Mr. A.G. Brackett to sell the property belonging to said company located on Myrtle Creek, Alaska for the sum of $7,500, which includes tools, quicksilver, lumber, flumes, derrick, and hydraulic IC plant, and then it lists their names, the amount of money. Look how much money.
What's going on there? They're buying mines in Alaska. And then you wonder why they're getting millions of dollars, yeah?
Wow.
Mining.
Kuak Mining and Development Company.
There'll be rocks in this unit that you throw away.
Like these.
Yeah, real rocks. I mean, you can a big boulder. Oh, this is just
No.
It's a fucking big gold
The
rock.
deed to the sheriff.
You got paperwork stretching over 250 years.
What's this deed to? Just looked at?
No,
Yeah.
I folded that one up and put it over there.
This is another one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's different.
So, do we own a gold mine?
You might own more than one.
Look at these checks in 1903. $200, $73, $12, $22, $35, $20, $155, $35, $475. They spent $475 back in 1903. Holy smoke. Yeah, they probably bought a house for $475, right? All the labor involved. $207.25. $160. This is like having $100,000, wasn't it? Like this little amount of checks is like the equivalent of at least $100,000, probably. Probably more. Nice, more fraternal masonry type things. This is nuts. It's like an application to be a Sons of the American Revolution.
Yeah, but why? Because they have family history.
Wow.
Beyond belief.
Beyond belief. 1911 is just some wild stuff. I don't even know. I've never seen so many pieces of paper that date back that far that go together. And yet, looks like another deed here. Parcel of land, official map, 1869, a 10 block by 29, said parcel, covered in front, solid black. What is this? Then there's this photo again. Like somebody, I just think that was a interesting photo right there. Somebody went through the gas pump and everything. Vacaville, Sunday evening. Possible gift. Look at these receipt-looking things. Witness. And I thought they were receipts. Maybe not. I thought they were, I guess, they're letters. From the general merchandise wool and grain bags. General merchandise wool and grain bags. They're pretty fancy to have their own paper back then if their name's on it. Oh, wow. Okay, which was at the sidewalk. Come in the corner. Mother wrote in her diary about Mr. Wilson. Later, enterprising young man was known and born. What is all of this? Her description of the Spanish inhabitants of that time is equally vivid. Wow. Just some interesting letters and notes and stories. I remember my own mother telling about the dances she attended, similar to the young teaching school and her boarding. Wow. Some type of... The family was detained in Fort Murrieta 6 years on account of the hostility of the Indians until General Wayne gained his glorious victory over them at the Big Mama River. To his... What the heck is this? This is just weird. I don't even know what any of these stories really are about. There was a little Sally Fox who was playing on a tree on the bank road, picked up 4 looking brown nuts and put them... Queer looking brown nuts. I probably can't even say that on YouTube either. Most of the story of the immigrant train was told by men who returned to their homes. The story of the mother's covered wagon experience, I remember telling her them in this account we find interesting. What is all of this? This is just nuts. This story. But enough of the moral. This is the plain, unvarnished statement. Okay. I'll put this over here. I think this is okay. How should I begin this beautiful new book that I had for a 4 year? Okay, this is right. Maybe he's making stories, Chief Solano. Okay, that's why they call it Solano County. The great bronze statue of Chief Solano was unveiled on the hill 4 miles west of Fairfield. This is right over. This is right down the road from me, actually. These are interesting things. This is the tale of the golden egg. The egg of pure gold is found in the tiny nest of the hummingbird high up in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. It is legendary story of the lost vein of a fabulous gold lode, the legend of its discovery and its passing into oblivion. The date was summer of 1988. I was younger, 8 years old. I accompanied father on a trip to cut logs for building in our homestead. We camped in a little grassy field. Okay, Little Creek, man. In common with my boys my age, I caught grasshoppers, having a glorious time at the upper edge of the grassy flat where waterfall and overhang ledge of the rocks flourished. I was fishing in the pool below when I noticed a hummingbird buzzing and darting around me in anger. I knew that she had a nest near and was trying to frighten me away. Looking up, I saw a little alpine spruce growing out of the crevice in the rocks. Suspended from the branch for the hummingbird's nest. Like most boys, I always wanted to see a hummingbird's nest egg. That's crazy because nowadays people ain't gonna be like. Nowadays, what young man's gonna be like? I just been dying to see in a hummingbird's nest. But this is the difference between now and 200 years ago. Larger, there were 2 eggs no larger than a small. Okay, wait. Like most boys wanted to see in a hummingbird's little nest was larger than a thimble, delicately of a thimble. They were slightly long. It may understand to be questioned as to how I am able to recall the details of hummingbird's nest after a lapse of 68 years. In the light of the event which followed, memory of these details have been inevitably etched to my brain. As clear today when I first gazed a silent wonder on one of God's most delicate creations. While adoring the eggs, I noticed a speck of yellow gleaming in the bottom of the nest and completely covered over with down. Without disturbing the eggs, I carefully removed what I believe was a pretty glittering yellow marble. Looking up at the overhedging ledge of the rocks, I could see a vertical intrusion of pure white quartz flecked with a gleaming yellow metal. The sunlight shining through the mist of the spray from the waterfalls formed a rainbow against a background of white quartz and gold. And while only a child in years, I stood in wonder at the most beautiful sight I'd ever behold, truly a rainbow of gold. 68 years have passed, but memory, that picture remains, and I was dimly conscious of probability that my pretty yellow marble had been dislodged and rolled down to the lodge in the hummingbird's nest. I put a pretty little marble in my pocket, showed to father. Father was homesteader and no knowledge to not interest in gold. I took the golden egg home, put it in my play box in the attic, and there it remained, gathering dust and almost forgotten for more than a decade. Through the following 10 years, my parents' ranch and cattle business prospered as I spent high school and preparatory schools in Denver. I was enrolled as a student. Okay, and then I remember the glittering yellow marble that lay in the attic of the log cabin, the homestead. Oh, wow. So he found this massive gold treasure, and then, wow, that would suck. Can you imagine finding the greatest looking gold pile possibly ever and not even knowing what gold was because of the time and place you were in life and didn't even know that gold was that valuable or even had, and 10 years later you find out, wow, frantic, I climbed to the attic of the gold and stood in the lay of the marble of gold still as bright. Father let me have a saddle horse and pack horse for camping equipment. I was off to begin the search for my lost treasure of gold that was extended through 68 years. The old wagon trails that led into some mountains had grown over with brush, obliterated. I slowly climbed the mountain, searching for the film, and I found the little meadow where the father and I had camped years before. At the upper and beneath the overhanging rocks, I found the hummingbird's nest. The glacier that fed my little trout had moved down, and my rainbow of gold lay buried beneath 1,000 tons of ice, rock, and debris. My gold had vanished. And that was over half a century ago, but for many years I returned to the little campground hoping that the glacier of ice and snow had moved on and that I would again find my fabulous gold lode. I am an old man now in the twilight of life, but that picture of glittering yellow gold beneath those waterfalls with the sunlight shining through the mist can never be forgotten. Wow. I have not been back for many years, but I will return, my boys and I, when and if those boys come back from the battlefield of foreign wars, and I wonder if I will again find my rainbow of gold, and I wait for the passing of the glacier that blots out the fabulous gold lode that no man has looked upon but myself. I've waited through the years, and I wonder, will the glacier pass before the darkness descends? And the little golden egg, I still have it. It's the most perfect specimen of gold found in the treasure, and it's still as bright as glittering yellow when the first found. Wow! Woo! This story, oh man, gold, mass amounts just buried in the ground. This guy didn't even know what gold was, and it just slipped through his fingers, and he spent the rest of his life dreaming about that time that he saw the most powerful, largest amount of gold ever. Oh, nuts. More, look at these are bank deposits from 1907. $200 right here. $200 right here. $40. $40. $500 in 1907. $1,000 in 1907. They were depositing in their bank. Wow. Look at these promissory notes, the things that actually people took care of back in the day. Look at this. We will pay the sum of this in gold coin, 175, or be valued by the person who owns this paper. George C. W. Your favor, 1912, referring to the title of the old Grimes property on Pine Street, Nevada City, duly received. O. O'Neill informs me that a deed from the heirs of the prepared is sent to Mr. John Grimes in Arizona to sign, and then to reward his brother in Tonopah, Nevada, at either acknowledge or receive the deed or return same. Wow. This is crazy. This story here, I think we kind of touched on this the other day, or when I made the last video in the spring of the 1905, we did a good fortune strive, the yada yada. Look at this crazy stuff that goes on in this. In Mike's saloon, we met no man and his partner Stockton. They ran a tunnel 30 feet or more where the Badger had explored the ore. What is this nuts? The average man to hope a safe finds out but alas an obscure grave wherein all the hopes Bishop, we last arrived where all the plans we had contrived and couldn't thrown in town. We were to Pearl in the town. I feel like this is a treasure map. Remember I said that? It's like we came here and we went here and by the railroad and back in here. And then let's see if we can come up to a conclusion here at the end. I started back here. My store of knowledge was okay. I thought it might tell us where to go. X marks the spot. Wow. Look at this. All measurements. Is this Pine Street, York Street? Is this a treasure map right here? Could this be? Statement of Shaw Estate. Oh, the ink has kind of bled over the years. This is trippy, though. Wow. 22, 30,000. And received on the same. Everybody received. Wow. Total blah, blah, blah. That is nuts. This is what I wanted everybody to see. I want everybody to see this because I said that they was millionaires, right? This is their name right here. You can see the last name. I've shown that in a few times. You can see right here the year. Now, every month, there was $100,000 to $110,000 deposit put in their bank. They ran their business or whatever, did their due diligence, and come on every month with another balance. In my eyes, Pirate's eyes, if you take in $100,000 deposit every month for your business life, whatever it is you're doing, you're a millionaire, period. You're living a life that is one of quality. You're bringing in a high level of revenue, especially in 1968. To put $110,000 deposit in your bank in 1968 is like the equivalent, in my eyes, of $1 million now. Still have things like this because I knew there's something to this family in my eyes, so I had to just leave everything that I was unsure about till I find things out. This is the person was part of the Treasury Department of the Treasury Department. It seems like somebody was a part of. You see something here, Washington, D.C., February 22nd, 1937, United States Senate Chamber admit Miss Norman Shaw to the reserved gallery for the 75th Congress. Look at this, signed by a U.S. Senator right there. That is a trip. I got so much more research to do. Things like that make me wonder, what does something like this hold in value? What does it really actually represent? What could it be part of, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, I'm not showing you guys every document I found, but look, here is Morse Creek and Attorneys, 1891, yours to be handled, the letter, next will, okay, I don't understand all that. But you want to think, often senators, governors, et cetera, start off as lawyers. You never know if any of these people are somebody of provenance as well. Join the deeds of the land. I think we could possibly maybe come up with a way to get some land that we own back in 1800s. Here's another one. This is all documents from the 1890s. 1891, 1890, Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore, that must have been their lawyer. I hope Jesse Moore is somebody of provenance. I'm just saying, like, look at all of these things. Dear sir, the Branch of Hill case, Supreme Court got reached. $67 to hire a lawyer. You can't even look at a lawyer for $67 anymore. Oh, there's a nail through here. This is just nuts. Like I said, you can't even get a lawyer. You can't even look at a lawyer for $69. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, you can't even. 338. Okay, collector's office. Here we go. Another bill for $421. Nowadays, the sheet of paper they put your receipt on costs $421. This is so nuts. 218. Dear sir, enclosed fund your tax receipt for 1886. Wow. Taxes. That's what this is. Now Hill says 300 is all the money he can possibly raise by Montgomery the lands. But, oh, wow. That's nuts. How are they going to get $375 to buy a piece of land? You're seeing the onslaught of just intense family heritage here. This slew of documents ranging from 1725 to 1800. The priceless looking, okay, it's not priceless. It values out at $17,000 on the internet, but still, all the stuff. There's so many pieces here of paper. I can't even show you guys all of them. There's no way I can. It's just been sitting here. Like I said, documents like this. I have several of these, like month after month after month, to show you $100,000 deposits. As I stated, I sold $10,000 just in silver, scrap value, right to the scrapper. I showed you everything that I have still as profit. I sold $5,000 in small stuff at the flea market. And actually, I did probably a couple thousand over time on my live auction too. So I'm gonna say $2,000. That's $17,000 I've got back on this almost $5,000 investment. And you see everything I still have for profit. Actually, in the 17, 18.5 if you count the guitar. Ooh, shoot. I'm almost at $20,000 sold on this unit, and I still have the best stuff. As businessmen, pirates, collectors, any of you out there that fit the mold of a reseller, whatever, what do you think the value is on this and these 5 documents right here? From what you see, and if you can gather any information, please help me in the comment section and let me know if you think that there's any way that this could be turned into cash money right now. If you have a buyer, let me know. If you have an idea of the value so I can put it out to my buyers, I have the one document you see right here. This one here is on eBay for $28,000. This was a great unit. This is definitely a Millionaire's storage unit. They were gold miners. They were mining tycoons, it looks like. They owned a business, family heritage. They were in the Revolutionary War, captains, mayors, governments, Congress, Department of Treasury. They were all over the map, this family was, from start to finish. That, to me, that is a storage unit story. Right now, I'm about to head home, take my documents back where they belong. I just brought them to hang out with the other documents they used to belong with. And we're going to go through a few more pieces that I have at home, the artwork I've been setting aside. Not to mention, I haven't even gone through all the artwork. Here's something to actually be said. We're going to go through this soon and see if there's even actually any more. It's nuts. We got all this art here. And all of this art here to go through still. I know a lot of it is the B. Van Dykes. There's tons of that. But we will have some type of art show later on down the road. We will show every piece that is sitting here still that we have found. Because I will show you the 2 that I found that have extreme value that I know of because I looked them up. And then on one day soon, we will see all this in one video by itself. This is an example of one of the B. Van Dykes. I have a bunch of these. I know for a fact, whatever this is right here, this piece of art, I have a bunch of them by this person. Hold on. Please, art in the Redwoods, Gowalla. We used to go abalone fishing there back in the day. Attached to the back title, acrylic artist, Bertha Van Dyke. We have an answer to that question. If anybody knows of a Verka Van Dyke, there's tons of art. Here's another one, another style. She did a lot of flowers. Like I said, there's a lot of these pieces, and there could be something really rare. So you have to stay tuned. I'll have somebody come help me, and we'll do some type of little art show, and you'll see all this art in its entirety. And once I make it home in a minute, we'll go through those last couple pieces of art I took home, and then that'll show you the ones I found that I've kept so far. Like I said, this unit is a gold mine. No pun intended for the fact that these guys were actually gold miners. All right, here we are. We are back at my house, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the last few pieces from this amazing I Bought a Millionaire's abandoned storage. So right here, this piece, it's a seascape of some form. It's signed by J.E. Stewart. You can see like cracking in the paint or whatever that is there. On the back of this piece is some type of stuff that dates it 1913. Seal Rocks and Cliff House in the distance in California, San Francisco. Original sketch. Somebody bought it for $1,100. You can see the price right there. You can see the old and I don't know the right. I wasn't saying antiquitable. The old. You can see the crudeness of this painting. It's old. This painting was done by Stewart, and it was back from the Seal Beach in San Francisco towards the Cliff House. Mr. Stewart claimed to be a descendant from the American master who painted George Washington. When I was growing up, every classroom in my grammar school had 2 pictures, a copy of Stewart's unfinished Washington and one of Abraham Lincoln. The painting was a wedding gift to your father and me in 1951 by Jack and Ruth Casper. Somehow Jack had met Mr. Stewart, and in exchange for supporting Mr. Stewart during his last and final days, he would left all of his paintings. Mr. Stewart was living in near poverty at the time and did indeed leave Jack all of his accumulated canvases. Basically, he painted California landscapes. Some were huge. Ours was the smallest. Okay, so basically, that's pretty crazy. This is how they got this. And I enjoyed the fact of Mr. Stewart's labor, the fruits. I suppose the rest were given to the family members. His final works were somewhat less inspiring than the early works. That's a neat letter. This is a cool little letter that comes on the back of this painting right here. I like it. Mr. Stewart's tops out at $12,000 sales, covered, recorded, historical, whatever the right word would be for that matter. His highest painting sold is $12,000. I have mine up on eBay for, I think, 7, a little over 7. It's worth at least 3 to 4 in my eyes, minimum. But I always price high to get a best offer. So yeah, that's one good find there. Then we have this really cool bull, sterling silver. I told you guys I want to show this. This is the only piece that I did not scrap. I liked it. These bulls, I think it's a bull. Some people say it's a cow. Some say it's a bull. These things can go for a lot of money. I think I have mine up for 12 or 13. I'm trying to see if I can show you guys the stamps, but it's not allowing me to. I have mine up for 1,200, I think, or 1,300 or 1,400, somewhere in there. They top out at like $2,000. It's got red eyes. It's not the best quality made, but it's weird. I think it's a creamer dispenser. This is one of the only thing I kept from the silver because I think it's worth a pretty penny. Not a bad little piece. I almost thought about keeping that because I have a lot of things that I've kept over the years. I got the safe that I found the 26 grand in. Look, everywhere looks a unicorn, guys. You see that? Unicorn, unicorn, unicorn. Pirates love unicorns. That's how you manifest unicorns to come into your life. You have to have lots of unicorns around. Just saying, lady. I have the tin can that I found like 3,000 or 3,500 in silver coins once. I got this from the abortion clinic that had the worst fight I ever had in my life. I can't discuss that here on camera. Really, I shouldn't even said that word. I got all sorts of things like that. I've got a tin can I found 9,600 or something, 9,200 in it. I keep all those things. And this, I think, is a cool one to keep as a reminder of what this unit had to offer and how to get it again. Then we have this piece. To me, this is the nicest art I think I found in there. The quality of it is phenomenal, I think. It's very old. It's definitely oil. It's got a minute amount of damage. A couple people have sent me some information saying it was like a Rigaggio or something, Rigaggio, but that's not the signature here. That is not the signature here. I'm going to try to put like a little thing here. I'll put a photo, maybe blow it up and you guys can see. But this signature right here, this could be a priceless painting. I don't know. I've set this aside and have not been able to find any information out on it just yet. But it came out of this locker. It's been restretched. They don't usually restretch a useless painting. I know that for a fact. You can see that it's been restretched. It's not on its original stretch. And we have a letter there to read too. This painting was given to me by my Aunt Emma. Aunt Irma was born in Sacramento in 1889. Her father owned... He was grandfather to the Van Dyke's brother. Okay, fine grocery store in Sacramento. Mail the ad order for 2 cents and they would be delivered. The orders have by horse-drawn wagon. Wow, this was back when you did, instead of Safeway delivery, you had a horse-drawn wagon. He had traveled the world in a little Arma, would speech hours listening to his stories of the places he had seen and the stories of the life of a seaman. He stayed with the family for several years. In time passed, Mr. Farley began to change his businesses. Electric street cars had come in, and customers would come to the store for their purchases. Eventually, deliveries were made by automobile. The first delivery wagon was a Hopmobile. Aunt Berna said the seaman decided it was time to move on. He took several items to Aunt Irma, his mother, and asked for her to keep them for him. He also extracted a promise that if he died, not returned, they were to be given to little Anna when she had her own home. We are learning, pirates, like these people's whole life as we unfold this story. In 1914, they were given to her. I remember she had a painting over the mantle. Originally, it was in a large, ornate frame. It was by 2 Chinese porcelain lions of a lovely blue. She had also a large Chinese jar, which she used for umbrellas. 20 years ago, the unit holding the frame, wake, and painting fell. By this time, Emma was given an old lady, and she had a housekeeper. The housekeeper picked up the pieces of the frame and disposed of them in the trash. She also was going to throw away the painting, but was stopped by Aunt Irma. Unfortunately, the trash was picked up that day, and the frame, which could probably have been repaired, disappeared. And Emma called me and asked me to come for the painting. She said I was the only one who really liked the painting and she wanted me to have it. I was thrilled. I wish it still had the original frame, but the painting is what is really special to me. I have no idea of its value. Maybe someday you can find out. Please keep it and cherish it as I have. Wow. Now, to me, I don't know the artist's name. I know it has extreme history. It has a huge potential of being a very, very expensive painting, but I have to figure out how to make out the name. I'll put the photo again probably right here as I put it in a minute ago. And you tell me if you can come up with the actual name of this artist and help this pirate out. If not, I might just have to keep this painting because they want somebody to cherish it forever. And I might have to take up that task of cherishing this painting forever to whoever make this person so happy. I don't know.